Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to draw a betta fish. It is very easy to draw a betta fish with colored pencils because you don't have to worry about the exact colors when drawing something like this. You can choose any color you want and experiment blending and mixing with several other colors. But don't ignore the value scale because finally you should have a definite shape for the drawing. I'm not going to complicate this drawing by using several art supplies. I'm just using Derwent artist pencils, but you can use any pencil you like, but be sure to use a similar color. And I'm using Strathmore Bristol vellum paper because it gives enough tooth for the harder artist pencils. So if you are using a harder pencil like Derwent artist, then be sure to use a paper with adequate tooth. This is the outline of the drawing that I'm going to do. You can copy this one or you can choose some other betta fish reference and draw using the similar techniques. I'm starting off by drawing its eyes using just the black pencil. Later we can darken it further by adding some dark browns. And then what I'm doing is drawing a base layer of the lightest color on the body of the fish. I'm using a light yellowish brown for that purpose. I'm also drawing the border of its mouth with the same pencil. And you can also see that I'm using several other colors like pinks and purples here and there. This will help to avoid that monotonous look of the base color. But be sure to use a color with similar value. You don't want to use a darker pencil and make patterns over the underlying lighter color. So I'm only using some light pinks and purples. I have extended the light colored base on the upper surface of the body because the light is falling from above downwards. Since the body of the fish is flat, only a small portion of the upper part will be under the direct light. We want to draw this area lighter compared to other parts, and I'm going to draw both the sides of the body much darker than the highlight. Using such a value contrast will give you that shiny look. So for the sides I'm using dark reddish brown and several layers of other colors as well. You can see that I'm using several other colors to draw the scales randomly. For the scales over the darker sides I'm even using black. So that finishes a small part of the body. At the end of this part, make sure you have the basic shape of the fish and a good value contrast so that fish looks shiny. Add as much colors as you want and blend those colors well together. Now I'm going to draw the remaining parts of the body of the fish. This part is also under the shadow, but there is a beautiful blue color over there. So what I'm going to do is make an initial layer with blues and purples. I'm even using a green color to make it much more beautiful. You can use as many blues and purples you want, but make sure to blend them so that you get a smooth color variation. Start with the lightest color first. For the initial layers, you don't want to use dark colors. Later on, we can add darker colors until we get the color we want. I'm also drawing some scales in between with a reddish brown color. Then, I'm gradually darkening this side using dark blues, purples and dark brown. You can even use black if necessary. Building colors like this helps to get a dark color with a bluish glow to it. This is essential to get that shiny look of the fish. So that finishes this side. Now we can move on to the side fins. Drawing fin is the easiest part in this drawing, be it side fin or tail fin. I'm going to explain the process when drawing this side fin. I'm using two different color groups for the fins. First group is composed of warm colors such as yellow, orange and red. For this group I'm using red towards the body of the fish and then orange and towards the end a yellow or light orange. At the end you should get a gradation of colors from red to yellow. Red closer to the fish and yellow towards the end. So you need to blend these colors without any demarcations. Just like a piece of cloth, there are folds on the fin too. For these folds we can use a darker color. Here I am using a brown. Just like this, we can draw the fin with other color group too. For this group, I am using a blue, purple and a pinkish red. Blue towards the body of the fish and pinkish red away from the body. For drawing the folds, I am using a dark blue such as indigo blue. You can see that I have made some other fin too with very light colors. It is the fin on the side of the fish head. Since it is very transparent, I am using a very light blue and green. Finally, I am finishing the remaining part of the body of fish using the same colors used before. So, now what's remaining is the tail fin. I'll show you that as a slow time lapse so that you can follow how I drew those fins. It is just like I did in the side fins using two color groups. You can even add another color group if you want. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And you can follow me on all social media linked below.